So now that we have our air racer all built, we got to cut out the pieces and assemble it. So that's what this video is, how to build it. So remember, when we're building it, we want to make sure we cut along the solid lines only and not on the dotted lines. So I'm just going to start here, just cutting very carefully along the solid lines. You do not want to cut on any of the dotted lines or you will have issues. So I'm going to cut here, and the body is the one where I get the main issues because people sometimes on these will cut all the way through or will cut this back bit off, and we do not want to do that. So we cut the main body out, and then we're just going to cut right up to here and right up to here, just like that. So we got these two little bits, so that's cutting the body, and the fins are pretty straightforward. I can cut straight up through, cut straight over here, and they should be the same, so you could technically probably fold them and just cut them on top of each other if you wanted to get them extremely precise, but if you measured well, that shouldn't be an issue. So let's finish cutting these out. And then with the air scoop, you just cut around the perimeter here. Do not cut on the dotted lines. Very important. All right, getting this all set. Okay, so we got all our pieces cut out, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go and start getting ready to assemble. For the next part, we're going to use two pieces over here on the brake. So on the brake, we're going to use our air scoop and our regular body. And what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to the brake, and on these dotted lines, we are going to put them into the brake like this. And right along the edge here, we are going to clamp down. So I'm very precise. I want to make sure I'm very precise getting this in here. So right on the dotted line, I'm going to clamp this down, and then we use the brake to bend the paper to get a precisely folded line on the brake. And afterwards, you can come in and make it a little more perfect, but the brake is going to ensure that we get a nice even fold on the cardstock, which can be difficult to do by hand. I'm going to come in here, we're going to do both of these sides, and then you are going to do the same thing with the air scoop. So the air scoop, once again, right on the dotted lines. So I'm coming in here, going down, lifting up. All right. And let's go back to the other side. Find the perfect spot, clamp down, lift up. And there you have it. So we got our two pieces bent. We can go over to the hot glue station and assemble. All right, when we're ready to assemble, we're going to take our body, and basically the fins are going to go in here. 1, 2, and the air scoop is going to go into the front with the shorter end of the air scoop all the way up to the top edge. So that's actually what I'm going to do first. I'm going to take some hot glue. This is tricky, so we get some hot glue. I'm just going to put some hot glue here on the edge, and we have a relatively small window to work here, so we don't want to put an excessive amount of hot glue on, or we'll have to go to the heat gun to get it off. We'll put just enough hot glue on, and what we want to do, and I try to go to one edge, I'm going to unfold it a little, I'm going to make sure I'm sticking it all the way there, pushing it in, and then if I show you, we're right along the bottom there, and I'm going to unfold the other edge. I'm going to push it so it is resting on this top edge, and then I'm going to bring the top edge back. And I'm going to squeeze together to let the hot glue dry in here. And get a nice solid connection. If yours ends up like mine where the hot glue dried a little early, you can come in, just add a little more, close it up. But it's always good to err on the side of less is more with hot glue. You can always add more later. There we go. Got the air scoop in the front. For the fins, I usually do the fins with the outside first, the two outside edges, and then I worry about this part. Okay, so I'm going to take a fin. I'm going to put hot glue on the outside edge. I'm going to come inside here, and I'm just going to slide it all the way in, and I'm going to hold it nice and tight. You do not want the hot glue coming out of the bottom. That would be bad, because it acts like a brake, causes a lot of friction. So make sure you're careful with that. So I want hot glue on this side. I'm going to go right here, get my initials on the inside. So I'm going to put some hot glue there. And then same procedure. I'm going to slide it in here. And then I'm going to squeeze it closed. So I got the hot glue in there. The final part to this, and maybe the most difficult part, is this fin. You actually want it not up level. You want it to come down and just be off the top edge. So to do this, this is nice if you have a friend. I usually push it down, and then I'll put like a dab of glue in here. Just a dab right there. And I'll actually use that dab to try to kind of hold it down, almost like a tack weld if we were welding. And then I will do the same on the other side. So I got that. And I'll almost put, like I said, like a tack weld almost. Just a little dab of glue to get it into the right position. And then when it's in the right position, which is down near the bottom, like that. So see, it's down almost touching the bottom, just a little up. Then I can come back in to around the edges, and I can just add a couple more spots of glue to hold it to the edge a little better. So first I just kind of put it in there, and then I come back in and add a little more glue to make it more solid. Okay. So that's how we get the fins on. The last thing we're going to want to do is find a piece of scrap and take a brass fastener. So brass fastener, we're going to stab it through the scrap, like so. And we're going to want to leave maybe a 1/4 inch of the brass fastener out. And what I'm going to do is I'm just pushing this through. I'm going to unfold the brass fastener like this, with about a 1/4 inch out. Now I'll put a ton of glue, not a ton, but I'll put plenty of glue on this. And where this goes is right behind the air scoop. It's not quite touching, but right behind the air scoop, we just glue that in. And that is the last step. So once you have that done, your air eraser will be all set to go, gliding down the hallway. So that's how we do the air eraser assembly.